It's Friday, April 5th, 2024. This is the One Question series featuring Dr. Yaffa Bey. In our last interview, you said that if we have a job, we're still a slave or servant. What did you mean by that?
Well, anybody and everybody, no matter what their ethnic group is or their racial, whatever their heritage. If you have a job now or ever had a job in the past where you have an employer, you are technically a slave now. The term um, employer and employee, you would find this in they've done something different with the dictionaries. I'm noticing changes, but under the entry master and servant in a decent law dictionary, and it should be entered in the dictionary exactly as that, master and servant. So go to the letters M in your blacks, and I don't know if it's in anything beyond the six, but it should be in some of 4, 5, and 6 should have the entry master and servant. Bouvier's may have it also. I don't remember my Bouvier set. Under there, it'll tell you what a master is and what a servant is. And servant is another word for slave. But it says in there the terms master and servant are archaic, obsolete, and no longer in use. Those terms have been replaced by the new words employer and employee. The reason you're still a slave or a servant is because you technically work for free, because the United States has a lawful definition of what a dollar is. A US dollar is 371.25 grains of fine silver. That is a lawful dollar in the United States. That came out, I want to say in 1791, 1792, something like that, maybe 1793. But it was the late 1700s. They came up with the Coinage Act. And the Coinage Act, ACT, defines a lawful dollar in the United States. A lawful dollar in the United States is 371.25 grains of, that's grains, GRAIN, like grains of sand or grains of cereal. Grains of fine silver, not junk silver, fine silver. Well, that's almost an ounce. An ounce is 480 grains of fine silver. If you try to acquire an ounce of silver, and I haven't looked at the value lately, but I know silver and gold are going up. I've seen it as low as 18 Federal Reserve notes and as high as 43 Federal Reserve notes. So on average, you're looking maybe 30 Federal Reserve notes. A Federal Reserve note, or floating rate note, some people call it, is these green things that people call dollars. You cannot buy a U.S. lawful dollar at 371.25 grains of silver with one green Federal Reserve note that has the $1 across the top. You would need a minimum of 18 of those, on average 30 of them, and sometimes as much as 40 something of those. So you're running around here every day. If an employer tells you we're going to pay you $10 an hour, and at the end of that hour you go, I don't like it here. It's not working out. I quit. Or they say, you know what? It's not working out. We don't want you here. You're fired. At the end of that hour, they are not going to give you 371.25 grains of silver times 10, or approximately 9 or 10 ounces of silver. They're not going to give you that, which means they're not paying you a dollar, which means you're working for free. They're either going to give you a direct deposit, which is not a dollar. They'll hand you a green 10 spot in cash, which is not $10, or they're going to give you a paper check, which is still not $10. If you didn't get 10 times 371.25 grains of fine silver handed to you, your ass worked for free and you did not get paid. No employer has ever given you a lawful United States dollar by definition of what a dollar is in this country, and that's still the definition. That came out in the 1700s. We're in the 2000s. This is 2024. It is still a U.S. dollar at 371.25 grains of fine silver, and no employer has ever given it to you. So you've been working for free, which means you're basically a servant or a slave. Hope that answers that question. The cost of living, be danged. You still are getting a dollar, but they're just making a mess of everything. It's not even about the cost of living. Yeah, you feel like you're working for free, but you've always worked for free. You just didn't know you were working for free because no employer ever gave you a lawful dollar in accordance with the United States laws, coinage act of what a dollar even is.